nerderotic.com.
Hey, once again, thank you to the great Perry Chan. Oh my God, let's stop looking at that. Let's go. Looks just like me, doesn't it? Hi, everybody. Welcome to a quickie Nerdrotic Nooner. I'm going to be on the High Council tonight in a little bit, but I had to get some of my own stuff in. Had a lot on my mind, and some of this will carry out tomorrow for tomorrow's Nooner. But welcome, everyone. Let's see who's here. What do we got? We got Eric K, Jake D, and their wrenches. We got Nat, your average nerd, Pilot Don, Roger the Shrubber, Wayne McLean, Jason Wiz1, J Bones, Walter Snyder, Robert Frey, Barbara, Grandfather Geek, hail Grandfather, the Patriarch, Andrew Grimm, Ligerfan Slime Battalion, Geek Tropology, Lagatus Legionus, and Fernando Pena. Thank you for the super chat. We'll get to it in just a moment. Ebony Salt, Lori Roberts, and Paisley Gemini. Welcome to a afternoon delight Nerdrotic Nooner quickie. It's always a good time for a nooner, everybody. So, listen, I am a grateful recovering addict. I live my life mostly happy, joyous, and free. I'm a pretty happy guy, considering what's been going on. Y'all heard in my last video kind of what we're going through. It's a thing. We are not going through anything any worse than anybody else is. It's just one story of a million out there, and I'd love to hear more of them because the mainstream media certainly doesn't want to talk about how these insane restrictions are affecting everybody. But now they notice when it affects Disney. So briefly, we're going to go over some stuff. I'm going to try to go off the top of my head. There's 4 major subjects I'm going to try to squeeze in here. Because I think they're pretty important. So, of course, CLOWNIFORNIA, and we get new regulations every day. I mean, you can't even tell between what's real and what isn't. We've got a Babylon Bee article that probably sums it up that we will go over. But I wanted to start with, we'll get to the CLOWNIFORNIA and the Hollywood and the Chris Pratt crap. And the really important one, Google and YouTube, the antitrust suit and why I don't think it's going to work. It's a step in the right direction, but it could be a big problem as well. So that's a teaser. First, the Fandom Menace, the awful truth about the Fandom Menace, the hidden truth behind the Fandom Menace. Like occasionally I have I got some time to kill. I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of live streams. I watch pretty much everybody's videos. You know what? Have we ever gotten a number of how many channels use the hashtag the Fandom Menace? And the answer is no, we haven't, because nobody knows. Nobody knows who really is Fandom Menace and who isn't. So, I'll use the hashtag, but I am not Fandom Menace. I'm Nerdrotic. I'm Gary. And that's the hidden truth behind the Fandom Menace. It's not an organization. It's a loose collection of individuals united in the principle of respecting the fan and protecting our modern mythology and fandom. And there are not many, to be honest with you. We have our critics, and we're not above criticism. And I'm not here to clap back on anyone. I'm here to respond. Why not? It's fun. So there's a couple of channels out there that continue to whinge on about the Fandom Menace. Quite honestly, I don't know why this is a thing. There hasn't been a lot of Star Wars news. And the first thing I will address is we are rage farming for clicks and we're just making this stuff up. And so you're insinuating and you're getting into our heads that we actually don't care about this stuff. Well, you're wrong there. I can speak for myself. I actually care. I talk about what I care about and I don't talk about what I don't care about. But my response would be a question. Have things gotten better? Did I miss a memo somewhere? And Hollywood has decided to treat both sides with respect, decided to treat all fans with respect, not call them Yahtzees, not, no. Actually, the answer is effing no. They are now calling them white supremacists. Fans of shows for years, decades, who've helped cultivate these brands and made them the billion-dollar franchises that they are or were. That wouldn't have happened without Nerd Cookies and Will and Lethal Lightning and Fernando Pena and Mark C., Bearded Warrior, Barbara. None of that shit would have happened without them, without us, the fandom. So you can be critical of our arguments, of the rumors, that's fine. But our intent, I'm simply here to respond. You're not in my head, but we are obviously in yours. And the one thing I've never heard is a solution. Well, we have offered one in every single one of our videos. Every single one of our videos, we have offered a solution to this problem that they continue to deny, dismiss, minimize. Simply treat the fan with respect. Try to be a little more neutral instead of one-sided. Try not to propagandize our entertainment, which you have come out and admitted you were doing in all with the major 3 franchises. It has been publicly admitted that there is an intersectional feminism motivation behind Star Wars, and with Doctor Who, that was the entire decision to turn the Doctor female. And the same goes for Star Trek. Star Trek just executes it poorly. Like, they're woke, but they're like a really dumb version of woke. And, you know, Doomcock and I were discussing this on the last Inquisition. The only one of those franchises that even has a glimmer of hope is probably Star Wars, of all things. Freaking Star Wars. Now, that depends on The Mandalorian, and I think it's just a flicker. It's a candle in the broken wind that's going to get blown away. But it's better off than Doctor Who and Star Trek, because at least there's something Star Wars I'll watch without like cringing and wanting to throw up in my mouth a little bit. I'm not saying it couldn't go that way, because it most definitely could. But our franchises are in bad trouble because Hollywood has lost their mind over the last 4 years, and they've decided that they're platforms and they're not entertainment. So my response to the why are we still doing what we do, I will speak for myself. I still care. I still want things to turn around. I'm going to voice my opinion whenever the hell I want. When I don't care, you'll know, because I'll stop talking about it. A lot of people don't care, and that's what we were trying to avoid, because the fans care more about the legacy of these properties than the people who own them. They just want to drain them of whatever they can and dispose. They aren't thinking 1 year ahead, 2 years ahead. They just don't think that way. You know, the owners, you know, Marvel Comics, when it was Marvel and it was owned by Marvel, they thought that way. They planned ahead and they cared and they wanted to keep fans going. Now they executed it poorly in some aspects, and when I'm talking a long time ago. But when the inmates started running the asylum, which was over the last decade or so, and it's been creeping in prior to 2016, that was the cancer that is running through our entertainment right now. And the editors weren't strong, or they were in agreement, and all of a sudden a large portion, a third, I'll say a third, probably a little over, of your fan base became bigots, disposable, and now they're paying the price. All these franchises are in shambles. DC Comics just took another step towards ending publishing monthlies. I think they're well on their way. I think they are well on their way. They got rid of one of their distributors. I think it was today or yesterday, which completely pissed off every comic shop owner because they have to do a little extra work. I don't know what's behind it. I'm going to look into it, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, especially when they're about to launch this 5G stuff with the Brazilian. It's a very interesting superpower there, the Brazilian. But the Fandom Menace, the Fandom Menace is a loose collection of a lot of people with a lot of different opinions, and we all don't agree on a lot. Now, one particular criticism is towards Star Trek, and quite frankly, there's not a lot of people who use that hashtag who even talk about Star Trek. I would say maybe a handful, about the same amount of people who actually like the show still. And most people are about to leave it behind, you know, and I don't blame them. What's the point? You can't even MS3TK it because it's bad in a way that you can't make fun of. We talked about this in my member stream. It's done a lot like Drake is 6 brought this up. Last Jedi, you can't even clown because it's done in such a hateful way. So is Star Trek. Same with Star Trek and Doctor Who. That like EFAP can clown Batwoman because it's funny. Because it is bad, but not bad in a way that is hateful to the brand. It does damage to the brand, but it's just ridiculous. You can't take it seriously. But we do take seriously our franchises and what has happened to them. So listen, there's always going to be people on the internet counting your money, whatever. I mean, like if I find that incredibly petty and insecure and weak. I say if somebody is successful in something, you know what? Great. Awesome. Brilliant. Alex Kurtzman made a lot of money to destroy Star Trek. I don't like him for it, but hey, CBS gave him the money. They're the ones who gave him the money. He's not going to say no to it, So beyond that, the criticisms are the same. That there's rage farming. And by the way, the biggest criticism they have is you are all a bunch of idiots. That's what they're saying over and over again, that you're a bunch of mindless drone idiots who don't ever disagree with us and do whatever we say, which couldn't be further from the truth. But they are trying to rationalize things in their mind. Probably why their channel isn't a success. I don't know, personal problems. A breakup. They're very unhappy in their job. Hey, we all have been in those places. I understand that. The way I dealt with that is by looking in the mirror. I certainly, had my time of going through the process of blaming everybody else for my problems, especially in my addiction. And I learned to look in the mirror. And when things are going wrong, if they're out of my control, I try to fix whatever I can. And I'm not perfect at this. Nobody is. But generally, if something's going wrong, it's going to be eventually I'm going to have to come around to, well, it's probably something I did. And then we'll go from there. And that's where I try to start now. It just cuts out a lot of needless work. So, it's the only, again, and I have to reset this once in a while. The only unsolicited advice I can give is why don't you try talking about, because the big thing is we're ruining fandom. We're ruining fandom, not the franchise owners who have destroyed this content. Because last time I checked, none of us wrote The Last Jedi or Star Trek or Doctor Who. We are ruining fandom. No, because again, we try to offer solutions, and there are things we like, and there are things we disagree on, but we try to offer the solution that Hollywood refuses to listen to, and the franchise owners refuse to listen to, because they have painted themselves in this corner by jumping on board with other fans and calling a large portion of their fan base bigots, Yahtzees, that now they can't support them because the people that they're listening to, that quite frankly, most of the money comes from this side, by the way. They're going to try to cancel them. Like Chris Pratt, for instance, didn't attend a Biden rally. His kid could have been sick. I don't know. He could be Republican. It doesn't really matter. I mean, never mind that Robert Downey Jr. didn't go either, but we know where he's coming from. So Twitter decided to cancel him. Now, the first thing I did this morning, I got up. I'm a groggy dude, so it takes me a good hour to get going. So I get my 2 cups of coffee. But the first thing I did this morning was I looked on Twitter, which I shouldn't have done. I was in bed, and I saw as responding to somebody. And I saw that somebody said that Chris Pratt's Twitter was like, just full of homophobia or something to that effect. And I said something pretty salty, pretty back. I don't even want to say it here on YouTube. I used the R word. I used the R word twice in a sentence, which immediately gets you a 12-hour ban, which I'm good to know. I'm going to keep that in my back pocket. Good to know. So that's why I was busted off Twitter for 12 hours. I'm still on that right now. But that's how stupid things have gotten. And, at first I thought I was like just off Twitter. I'm like, oh, thank God. So yeah, it's brilliant that I've got a bunch of followers on Twitter, and Gina Carano follows me, and it's so real and it's weird. But like, I'm done with that platform. I'm going to give it till the end of the year, and I'm done. It's just, it's disgusting. It's the worst of humanity. It doesn't do any good. It does nothing but waste my time. It's great to share stuff there. And yeah, I get a certain amount of people watching, when I share it on Twitter, and it probably hurts that I couldn't share this on Twitter, whatever. It's worth it. It's worth my sanity. But as far as the Fandom Menace goes, it's, what? I don't know everybody who uses the hashtag personally. I'm sure there's people out there who don't like me. There are some that don't get along, because that's all it's ever been. And to even bring it up now and still make videos is probably the most ridiculous time to make them, because this is the time where I would say it's the most needed, because it's not just a franchise now. It's Hollywood. Now, this is stuff we've always known. And of course, there's the argument Hollywood's always been woke. And yeah, but we enjoyed it before. What's changed over the last 4 years? Well, it's gotten meaner. It's gotten a lot meaner. They even brought it up in The Boys, like the world seems to be a meaner place. Yeah, but I don't think they know where that should have been directed somewhere else. Frenchie said that in the second to last episode. Yeah. And the lack of tolerance and what we see, religious bigotry every day, and a political bigotry. It's a form of it's bigotry in every sense of the word. Just not wanting to, or if you don't hate the president, or you're willing to listen to somebody, if you have them on your show, you're platforming it's so fucking ridiculous. And now, like I've said before, this is dangerous. This is dangerous. Because last time I checked, the worst thing we would call somebody is an NPC or an SJW. They call themselves SJW. But we're not calling anybody a white supremacist. I give you an example. If you defend the film Cuties, well, I mean, it would be the same thing as me saying, well, you're a child molester. It's the same thing. If you say that because we don't like Star Trek or something else, or you just support the president, you're a white supremacist. That is a crazy accusation that now nobody's going to take seriously. And like, where does it ramp up from there? What's next? Because there will be a next. I just don't know what the next is. I mean, they've played their entire hand, it seems like, over those last 4 years, Hollywood. And I'm talking lunatics on the left that have not normal Democrats, which I hope there's still some out there. I'm sure there is, that won't just sling that accusation around to anybody, centrists on the right, libertarians, or mislabeling somebody, which happens a lot. I mean, I don't want to. There's a lot of people who get badly mislabeled who use the hashtag the Fandom Menace. I'll just say that. Like, they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. And it's funny. Well, a lot of us are anonymous, so people don't know. They just make assumptions about people. And they don't know what they look like. They don't really know what their skin color is. They don't know what religion they are. They don't know what political party they support. They have no idea. Some of them someday are going to look, dumber than they look already. So, and listen, some of these people have been what I would consider friends, and they're out there still whinging about it. But it's, again, look in the mirror. We are individuals I'm doing my own thing over here. It's not like, I talked to Jeremy. I talked to the guys on the Friday Night Tights crew. I talked to Lady Greymaster, but mostly I am doing my own thing. And if you want to keep whinging on because it's like the only way your channel's going to get traction, great. It doesn't help though. When, you're a couple of years in, one of you is a couple of years in, has it really helped? So I will continue to say that the Fandom Menace is just a loose collection of individuals united in the principle of respecting the fan and protecting our modern mythology. And we have offered a solution in every single one of our videos. And we will continue to do that until we get tired of it. And calling out the truth. There's a reason why people are coming over here and listening to us, why I am listening to other channels and going to other live streams, because I don't even waste my time with a Screen Rant or Radio Times. It's useless. You can tell they're running out of money and they can't really afford. You could tell they can't afford to pay writers anymore because the writing has gotten so much worse. Not that it was great a couple of years ago, but I used to go to these sites and they used to be a lot better, but they're not now because they are dinosaurs and they did themselves in. They're dinosaurs who tossed a meteor at themselves, basically. Bearded Warrior for £5. Your Cal Exit video was great. Interesting how the term Cal Exit and even Brexit for Blexit for Candace Owens exit movement has all come from the UK Brexit. Yes. It's a meme. Yeah. The Cal Exit is a hashtag that auto-completes on Twitter, and a lot of people use it because a lot of people are leaving. We're all leaving for the same reasons. Fuck forest fires. We're not leaving because of forest fires. It burns from late August to early November every year. It just burned particularly bad this year because Gavin Newsom didn't rake the forest. Remember, Trump told him to rake the forest and people clowned him because they don't know what they're fucking talking about. Well, I used to fight fires here in California, and you need to maintain the forest floor. You need to remove it from all the fucking kindling. And guess what? The squirrel you tried to save died burning and screaming anyway. Poor squirrel. And even the LA Times agreed with the president. That's how bad that take was. Freaking Newsom is a clown. He's an absolute clown. And always been a clown. Always been a clown. I decided to not get too personal in his video, but his dad was an attorney. What was he? He handled all the lawsuits for the Getty Oil Corporation. So his dad probably screwed over a lot of families. Injury lawsuits. He probably fought off. That's where Gavin Newsom's dad made his money. His first business was some wine company that he was able to get a huge grant from Getty Oil Corporation. Can't all get that. Then he became the youngest mayor of San Francisco. And then he became lieutenant governor, and then he became governor, and he has eyes on that White House. And nobody ever brings up. You remember, Trump said something about grabbing ladies somewhere in the nethers. You remember that. Gavin Newsom slept with his campaign manager's wife during an election. Nobody brings that stuff up. Now, personally, that's adult shit. I don't really care. And does it affect how you govern? Trust is important, but does it completely count you out with me? No, honestly, no, because people do that all the time. I don't want to get too moral. Can you govern? And the thing is, he can't. He flat out can't. He's got in there because he's a good looking dude. He's got hair. And by the way, my wife, has done hair right next to the dude. I walked by him because he used to go into a salon where my wife used to work. So I walked by the guy a couple times. And I still don't like him. No, I don't. And I don't think Bob Iger likes him or Disney likes him. And he's been putting in 11th hour restrictions. It is clear, in my opinion, that the Democratic states are going to try to stay as closed as possible until March. What happens in February and March? Think about it. So that's what it sounds like. I don't know if AMC is going to survive. It looks like Regal's going to shut it down. And the blockbuster movie, will it be dead? It's going to be a while till it comes back. And I don't think it'll ever come back to the way it was. I don't think you're ever going to see a Captain Marvel make $1 billion again. You might actually have to produce a good movie. Now, would a Joker make $1 billion? Yeah, I think so. Now, the Joker was helped by a lot of bad press that backfired on the Access media. And that continues to this very day. There was a certain story we couldn't talk about on Twitter and Facebook, and that just basically guaranteed, 3 times, maybe 10 times as many people were going to read it than who would have before. Great video on Cal exit. Here's some coffee money. Thank you, Barbara, for the $2. I appreciate it. Thank you. Nerd cookies for $5. I try to avoid politics as much as I can, but I have to say I loved your latest Cal exit video, hoping for greener pastures for you and your family. Thank you, Nerd Cookies. I appreciate that. I do too. That's not what this channel is about, but I'm going to talk about like when politics directly affect my life. And I will tell you right now, I think the one lesson we can all learn, no matter what side you're on, honestly, we need to pay a lot more attention who's in our local offices. A lot more attention, because there are some morons running cities in this country right now and counties who have no business being there. Mark C for $10. I'm hoping to outdo the idiots by making a video of myself rubbing one out and smoking a rock pipe while negotiating $100,000 finder's fee, doing business with China, and screaming "Orange Man bad." Oh, that would outdo it. Mark C for $10. Yeah, a CNN guy was yanking the chain, slapping the meat during a Zoom meeting. Does that tell you what degenerates we're dealing with? And again, I am not the moral police. Like, if you need, like, it's good for the prostate. Handle your business, but not on a Zoom meeting when you're with ladies. Not at work. Not at work, unless you're working from home, I guess. But, like, dude, there's a term for it that I like to use. Twisting the muse. You got to twist the muse once in a while. But at work, you slime ball. And these are the people who come out and, say the Orange Man is a horrible person. And like, listen, all these rich assholes are, yeah. But can you govern? Now, if you're going to get on, he'll probably get forgiven. He'll go to rehab and, it'll get swept under the rug, but we'll remember. And then there was a Funimation guy. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't mean to stereotype or anything, but he looks like the kind of guy who would do what he did. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm going out on a limb by saying that. I don't want to say what he did, but you can go to Bounding into Comics. I think it's like the 6th article down on the left. You'll see a picture and you'll go, oh, that's the guy who would send those kind of pictures. Yes, it is. Fernando Pena, thank you for the $6.99, $6.99 pesos. Fernando Pena. Thank you, my friend. Nothing to say. Lethal Lightning. What's up, brother? Love Lethal. We got to get Lethal on Friday Night Tights again. For $2 Australian, says nearly at 300,000. Heck yeah. Quickies, my life story. Yeah. It is mine. It's mine too, brother. Yeah. I think that's how I was conceived too, to be honest with you. I was born, my mom was 16 when she had me. I have no idea who my birth father is. You've heard the story. And there's this one picture of my mom when she's got the baby bump of me, and she looks so young. It's like, oh, yeah. I was born in a. It's like women out of wedlock. It was a Salvation Army. It was called Booth Memorial Hospital, but it wasn't a hospital. It was just where the girls went to go have babies who weren't married back in because that's how old I am, back in the 60s. I was so bad back then. Pooh, how times have changed. All right, so I'm keeping an eye on the time here. So hail the Fandom Menace, your beautiful hashtag with a lot of beautiful people. I've met a lot of great friends. I've had a lot of good time. You know, the High Council has come out of that. Friday Night Tights, you know, the Fourth Wave. There's so much. Lethal Lightning. And listen, who's Fandom Menace? Like Clownfish TV says they flat out say we are not Fandom Menace. We've never used that hashtag, but we love Clownfish TV. They're part of our sphere, and they don't have to use that hashtag. Nobody, you can like The Last Jedi. We always say that. I don't give a shit. Just don't be a dick and don't try to impose rules on us and try to paint us with one broad brush when the real reason you're upset is because your channel's not doing well. You know what? Channels go through ups and downs. They do all the time. Keep grinding. Ask a lot of questions from your audience. You know what? If it's not working, talk about something you love. If you have an audience and it's there, even if it's not growing and they're staying there, well, do you think they want to hear you bitch about another channel? Or do you think maybe if you love Star Trek Discovery so much, please tell me why. Give me reasons why you love it. Like, break it down. What's so great about it? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing something. I know I'm not. But even the people who like that show, like, it's always yeah. Will Perkowski. Hail, Gary. Did you notice that they tried to cancel Chris Pratt because of him not appearing at a pro-democracy event by the MCU pro-pretenders for Biden? He supports Orange Man. I don't know if he supports Orange Man. Maybe he just couldn't go. I don't think he said anything. And even if he did, thank you for the $9.99. Who gives a fuck? You know what? I have friends who support Biden. I'm going to talk to them. They were my friends before they supported Biden. And when Biden's gone, they will be my friends. I try not to. I mean, like, if anybody doesn't talk to you because of that, they're not your friend. Okay? They're really not. You can be friends with somebody and not bring up politics ever. It's not like... that's the thing that, you know, that's a kind of a San Franciscan thing. They love to talk about politics. They go, hello, and then they start talking about politics. Or sometimes they'll start talking about politics before they say hello. They bore the shit out of me. You know, election season's exciting, but it's treated like the WWF and red versus blue. And personally, I'm not part of either party. I think both of them fuck a lot of shit up, personally. And I think the reason that people like the Orange Man, the president, so much is because he's not really, the guy used to be a Democrat. Guy used to be a New York Democrat. And I don't think he's that different from what a New York Democrat was. But he's not a politician. I mean, honestly, that's what I'm tired of. People like Gavin Newsom, people like Biden who've been around they just talk real slick. I sat through 3 of his press conferences. He didn't say shit. Somebody asked him directly about Disney and the 28,000 people that were laid off. And he talked about his inclusion and diversity mandate on the recovery for California. And what he says sounds really good. Listen, we don't want to leave anybody behind. We don't want the lower income neighborhoods left behind. We want to make sure they are being treated the same as Beverly Hills and La Jolla. All about that. Of course. But the thing is, and that's what that's based on. So after they say we got to put this mandate and we got to make sure they aren't left behind, which means we're going to do more testing. Well, then how do you know if they're left behind if you're not doing testing? See, this is how we know the fix is in, and it's just a bunch of bullshit. And they're politicizing this. And everybody's to blame. Everybody in government's to blame. Now, I don't expect them. This is exactly what I expected them to do. I hate to be a nihilist about it, but this is exactly what I expected them to do. I was hoping that they would be better, to use their words, and they weren't. So I think it's time, locally to make a big change, but that's not going to happen. So that's why I'm leaving. I want to go somewhere where we have a fighting chance and there's freedom. And of course we're going to be safe and all that. The coup is out there. It's an absolute. We can't do anything about it. And we can't wait for a vaccine. That's not realistic. And we can't keep the economy closed for a year. It's not realistic. But they're going to do it anyway. And, it's up to Disneyland to, I don't know, open. What happens? You get fined? I don't know. I don't know. With we've lost a third of our small business in this state. So that affects entertainment, everything we love. This is going to reverberate, and you aren't going to see the reverberations until like next year. We're at the beginning of this. I said this with my comic videos. It's next year. It's this time right here. We're in the holiday season. After this, they're just dead. You're going to see so many comic shops just close because they usually hang out. We're going to hang on to the holiday season. That's where we can get our most money. Now, I bet you a lot of them are good entrepreneurs and they've shifted to online, and that's what you need to do. And I think a lot of them have decided we don't need storefronts anymore. Yeah, I hope they survive. But the Marvel and DC aren't giving them much. To be honest with you, I know there's some comics out there that are still good, but quite frankly, I can't give them any money right now. The way, just the everything with Tom King that I saw, I was done after that. I was done. That guy's a POS. I wonder how Rorschach turned out. Lethal Lightning. Did you read Rorschach? How was it? If you're still out there, Space Windu. I love that name. Just jumped on me. And you could Lethal, just respond in the chat, buddy. Or Mark C, both of you. Have you read Rorschach? What did you think? Welcome to the Jaloja level. I appreciate it. I will be on the High Council in about 40 minutes, by the way. But I'm going to stay here for Hail Perry Chan. We love Perry Chan. Okay, YouTube and Google are getting, we're going to talk a little bit about comics after this too. There's an antitrust lawsuit brought by 9 states, all Republican lieutenant governors. That's a problem. Now, apparently, Elizabeth Warren and Trump agree on this for whatever reasons. Elizabeth Warren is dumb. Sorry, because she thinks like Google is like some right-wing thing, and that this whole fucking Russian bot meme shit that they tried to sell us in The Boys is real. When there's like actually people burning shit down in America and being caught on camera going, oh yeah, even if Biden wins, we're going to burn shit down because that's how we're going to make them govern because the Democrats are weak. That's a quote from Project Veritas. Go check it out. I paraphrased the quote, but that's what the guy said. He was an Antifa guy. The kind of guy that they would label incel. Now, I don't like that label. I don't. I think, quite frankly, that came along with that. I mean, that's kicking sand in nerds' faces again. And this is what happens when the jocks take over, which they have done. So YouTube and the Alphabet companies, there's an antitrust lawsuit that they are suppressing competition. They are manipulating elections. And this is how arrogant they are. They've come out and admitted it. If you go watch The Social Dilemma, they admit it. Former employees admit that they can manipulate elections, manipulate numbers. I mean, quite frankly, does anybody believe polls anymore? After 2016, does anybody believe polls? I have a memory. So I remember the polls from, and you know what? It makes me question all the other polls now. I used to I used to like to believe that they were accurate, but now I question it because they were most definitely not accurate at all at any moment in time in 2016. They were wrong the entire time. But that's forgotten. Whatever. So Alphabet's getting sued, antitrust. It's one-sided, which is too bad. Jeremy from The Quartering was very happy about it, and I am not. Now, I'm glad something is starting to be done, but this isn't the solution I wanted. I did not want the government getting involved, but Alphabet, YouTube, Mama Susan, Google, you did this to yourselves. You could have been neutral. You could have stayed out of politics and nobody, well, I can't say the government would have eventually bothered you, but this could end YouTube if it goes through. Now, I don't think it's going to go through because it's one-sided. Now, if this was bipartisan and it was in a different time, I think eventually it will go through because I do believe Alphabet Corporation is a monopoly in every sense of the word. My hope would be that the Alphabet Corporation would change things on their own without any government interference. See, I don't like government interference, but I'm not an absolutist either. This company is massive, one of the biggest in the world, and it has too much power, and it's swaying, quite frankly. There's the normie out there who has a lot of time, doesn't have a lot of time on their hands, and they just peek in on stuff and doesn't do a lot of homework. And then there's the lazy person. Then there's the partisan. But the reason this will affect YouTube is all the money that drives this YouTube comes from Google. And Jeremy explained it in his video. And it could affect YouTubers directly. Now, if I took a little bit of a hit on income, but YouTube was more neutral and didn't ban people and allowed more voices, great. So be it. I can say that. I don't know if many people can say that. Now, I'm not in a position I want to be in very long. For one, I will always YouTube. As long as it's here, I'll be here. No matter what, I will be here. I just don't want to be I don't want to be the breadwinner with this. That's why when we move, we open the store. That's what I want. I don't mind being the breadwinner in the family. That role has switched throughout time, because when I was a comic shop owner, let's face it, wasn't making a lot of money, but it was fun. And this is fun too. But this is like any entrepreneur, like any small business owner, you're walking a tightrope over the Grand Canyon without a net. I've done it for so long, I'm kind of used to it. So, there's always that fear, but it kind of motivates you, and I kind of like it in a weird way. But this could, once the government gets their dirty little paws in here, they will fuck it up beyond recognition, without a doubt. Now, my rah-rah YouTube and Mama Susan and everything, I'm grateful for where I am. I listen, we're still here. A lot of us are still here. And this time I'm trying not to be hyperbolic and, YouTube's going to end. And I don't think this will go through at all because it's partisan. If it was bipartisan, at least one Democratic lieutenant general now, or lieutenant governor, or is it, attorney general. And Jeremy mentioned it in his video, and he's absolutely right. It's because every Democrat is in the pocket of Silicon Valley. And when did the Democrat Party become the corporate party, the Wall Street Party? What the fuck? The pro-war Wall Street Party. 2020. And that's what they are. That's why they're all in their pockets. And that's why they're okay with censorship. And that's the biggest issue I have. So, yes, again, if I took a bit of a hit, but it would allow more people to say what they want and it would get rid of censorship, yes, absolutely. Hell yeah. Because I think we would just grow from that. I think what stifled the growth is the censorship and having to speak in code and everything and not have to worry about that and not have to worry about saying certain words because it's an algorithm and it's not judging the nuance or the context of my argument. And yeah, I just don't think it's going to work. I think it's bad when the government gets involved with anything. Personally. So we'll see. Now, if I'm wrong and it works, great. And we get, and Leafy comes back and Mr. Medicare's left alone. And this stretches out beyond YouTube, by the way. And the people they banned, somebody was saying, it was in my member stream, and they were telling a story where their boss was going to get fired, so he decided to transition, and he saved his job. Like Leafy should have totally done that. He would have saved his job. So if any YouTuber thinks you're about to get the hammer, you know what to do. You know what to do. Arturo Espinoza Garcia, thank you for the 10 Mexican dollars. Hail. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think, I mean, I think the same thing as I do about the Cuties lawsuit. There are laws in the books that protect children. I think we should try to apply those and try to discourage what is a normalization of this. And by the way, Movie Bob is gone. Bye. That's what it is. They are trying to normalize this stuff. And I mean, you can't change my mind. And I think I know we have visual evidence of that. Visual evidence of that. And that is going to be put forward a little more because you're starting to see it. You're seeing conflation, right? So there's a lot more understanding about recovery. You know, when you were a drunk, when you were a drug addict, you were just a weak-minded a person without any willpower. And then there was a lot of work done on this. And we find out it's a brain chemistry thing. So we have a little more understanding of it. But I think a lot of people confuse that with it relieves you of responsibility. No, it does not. Once you're aware of something, it is up to us as adults to take care of something. So while I have a disease of the brain, it's based on a conscious decision that I make. So now that I know that if I pick up, if I take a shot of whiskey or whatever, or hit a crack pipe, like it's off to the races for me. I know that. And then people are going to get hurt. I'm going to get hurt. I'm going to hurt people around me. So that's on me. So I can't go, it's a disease after that, because now I know. I've done the work and I know. And it's up to me to resist that. And it's completely on me to do my work. And I can't go, well, I had a bad day, the recession, 2020. I can't do that. I can't afford to do that. So no matter how bad this year is, if I do it, it's fine. So the problem is they're trying to equate that to other things, right? So with the Cuties situation and the, like when people, back in the old days when people drove somewhere, they used a map, that kind of thing, right? So that kind of thing on Twitter, they're trying to normalize that. And I can completely see a day where they go, oh, well, it's just a disease. Yeah, so what? It's one you need to resist. Do whatever you need to do to make sure you do not act it out. And that's on the adult who has that problem. It's not on society. It's not on anyone else. And it should, you know what? We always want to have sympathy for our fellow man and woman. This one, I don't. Sorry, I simply don't. And I think there's a way to, it's a very complicated situation. It's a very unfortunate situation for the person that happens to. All I would say is seek help. Do not act out on your urges. And if you do, I have no sympathy for you. What happens? Because once you're conscious of that, and like, I can't feel sorry for that, because that person is going to do something horrible to a kid that's going to break that kid, affect that kid's life with relationships and everything if they survive, if they don't self-delete. And then they could pay it forward, pass it on. I mean, it's just better for society to not have a lot of tolerance for that. Now, if somebody comes out and admits it before they've done anything and does the work, great, do it. Have you seen a TV show called Special Unit 2? Ask the Art of the Real for $10. I have not. I'll check it out, though. I have not. And I haven't even heard of it. So this YouTube lawsuit, I'll be watching it. It's going to take a while. I agree with Jeremy from the quartering. It should have happened in 2016. A lot of this shit should have happened in 2016. Now, listen, it's very difficult to get things done in Washington. The fact that the president has able to get it as much done as he did, which is the most I've seen a president get done in a long time, not in living memory. As far as the economy, I pay the least taxes that I do now. My wife's business was never better before London Breed and her government shut it down. Her fellow salon owners were doing the same way. People were doing great. People were getting paid more. Being auto mechanics. I mean, like everything was rising up. Everything was rising up, but then it got shut down. And having it shut down to this insane level, there's no other motivation than political. Again, the big box stores are open. It makes nothing, none of this makes sense. None of it. Well, it does. It does. But we're not allowed to talk about that. And that does need to be fixed. My hope would be competition. But every time there's any kind of competition for YouTube, it gets stamped down, which sounds to me like a monopoly, doesn't it? But I would like YouTube to just, it won't. Okay, it won't. But I would just like it to be what it was. And again, if I took a little bit of a hit, so be it. That would be great. I'll learn to live with it. Can you believe that StarTrek.com wouldn't promote Shatner's new Captain's Collection Blu-ray? Sheer bleeping hubris. Gerald, yeah, I can believe it. CBS is a petty corporation. I mean, extremely petty. They actually give a shit what YouTubers say. I mean, our shit is echoing in their head. And their brand is dead. It's fucking dead. All they can do is announce new shows. And when they come out, people watch them for a couple episodes and then bow out. And it costs them millions. But that's the streaming wars. I was watching a Midnight's Edge thing. And it was somebody said content wars. That's actually what it is. It's content wars. Hail, Gary. After the stream is over, I will post a comment on Friday night article I came across. It is very encouraging to hear. Please read it. Thanks. I will. I'll read it on Friday night. John Wayne drinks SJW tears. Barbara is a member at the proto-molecule level. Hail. Sarcastic Warlock for $10. I'll give you till the end of the year and I'm done. I hope you actually hold to that. Be done, man. Oh, I'm going to be done. It's not going to be easy, but I'm going to be done. I had my account open, but I just, what it did was it just put my Facebook posts up for 7 years. I didn't post a thing on Twitter. Everything it just came from my Facebook. Brian Lewandowski for $5. Hail, Gary. I've been working second shift and haven't made the member stream. Is there any itinerary for Vegas since the convention is canceled? Yes, Vegas is on. It's the 9th through 13th. You can stay wherever you like. We're going to rent out a hall and bring in a projector and watch movies and be dorks and run around Vegas. Fuck Star Trek. You just saved $100. That's all. We could play blackjack. It's fine. Hail, Gary, are you not singing this Thanksgiving? Blizzard for $3. I am going to sing my little heart out, and I don't sing. I'll sing California, Uber Alice. California, Uber Alice. Now it's 1984. Knock a knock on your front door. You do your own. Okay, that's right, Gary. You do your own thing. Oh, hi, Lady Grave Master. You're not supposed to super chat for $5 on a completely unrelated subject. The super secret dog whistle meeting instructions should arrive by pigeon. Oh, I thought it was going to be by crow, but it's pigeon. Okay, that's good. Brian Nedifer for $4.99. Antitrust lawsuit against Google. A New Hope. If it's a wake-up call I 1,000% agree with Jeremy from the quartering. I don't want some $1 billion fucking fine and then it disappears and everybody just got an extra payday out of this. Do something. The problem is Jeremy's right. They need Democratic attorney generals, at least one. But I hope so. The problem, you know what here's what's going to end up happening though. Government interference is going to fuck it up. Unless, if the president gets reelected, I would have more hope. If Biden gets elected, this will be swept under the rug and forgotten because he is, he's in everybody's pocket, in my opinion. Like every other politician, there's plenty of Republicans in Wall Street's pockets too. Okay. I don't mind there being $1 billion corporations. I really mind them. They're fucking running the country right now. And that needs to stop. Just run your fucking business. Stay the fuck out of ours. Sell us our shit or don't exist. I'd rather another $1 billion company rise up that doesn't want to feel like they get so big, like just sell your shit and leave us the fuck alone. But they can't. They never can. And that's why, people who want power, they're all Gavin Newsom wants is power. He's a lot like Alex Kurtzman. He just wants to run shit. He's not very fucking good at it. Yeah, you know what? That's right. Gavin Newsom is the Alex Kurtzman of governors. He is. The dinosaurs who invited the meteor with open arms, are saying hashtag diverse interstellar objects are our strength. Yes, says Corey Timmigan for $5 Australian dollars. Liger fan for $1. Thank you very much. What happens in February and March? Ask Liger fan for $2. Oh, you're in America, transfer of power. That's when the new or old president is sworn in. You guys didn't. Late February, they swear in the president. Have you noticed everything's pushed out to early March? I'm sure it's just a coincidence. Friggin' love your content, brother. You're always on target. Stay on target. Everyone be ready for the crap storm. God bless you and yours. Oh my God. What's this? WWG1 WWG8. What is that? Scott S. I should know that. Thank you for the $10. Love you too, man. Okay. I got to bust. I didn't realize I would get this many super chats. I'm sorry. I've got to go there in like 2 minutes. So I'm going to get through these. Thank you, Scott S. Jam92 for $5. Gary wanted to give you a heads up. The Lord of the Rings 4K gift set is still available for pre-order on Target and Best Buy websites. Thank you, JM92. Really? That's good. That is good. UV777GR for $20. Some gas money for your escape. Bless you. Thank you. The escape is soon. I'm going to Texas before I go to Vegas. Or maybe I'll just make it one trip. Maybe I'll do. Thank you for the $20. It's very generous. For 10 Canadian pesos from the Big Red Bear. I know that isn't what people want to hear, but even when these places open, they won't do well. You're not wrong. During the Spanish influenza, the economy went bad too. Things didn't recover until it was over. Yeah, no, dude, you're absolutely right. It's when things reopen, a minimum 2 to 3 months for I would say 75% of the people. 25% of the people are never going to leave their freaking houses again. I think it's a large percentage of people who are like honestly freaked out beyond belief. And, as much as I tell them not to be, you have nothing to worry about. You have nothing to worry about. I'm talking about the science that has been provided. We're talking 99.6%. You have nothing to worry about. If you have pre-existing conditions, you know it for the most part. And if you have some defect, well, that gets us all the time. Poor John Ritter. John Ritter had a bad ticker. He didn't know it. 2.8 million people died last year from obesity. 2.8 million people. Nobody's locking a fridge. I don't know what the number was for drug overdose worldwide, but I'm guessing it's more than 200,000. There's more people are getting addicted every single day because they can't go to meetings. They're relapsing. I'm just starting to go to meetings now, and it is not good. It is not good. But yeah, it's going to take a while to recover. It's not, you can't just flip the switch. And there's going to be a real estate bubble burst. Felipe Abrigo for 2,500 Chilean pesos. Hi, Gary. ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está, amigo? I just discovered something. Say STD several times. STD, 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 STDS, STDS, TDS. Anyway, best to your family. Yes, that is good. That is good. Gentleman one James for $2. Is Tobey Maguire your Spider-Man? Yes. That nobody guy for $10. Hail to the Fandom Menace. You've said that escapism helps those in depression, which it does. I completely agree, and I say that you guys help us too. Thanks as voice. I love you so much. And you guys help us too. And that is great to hear. If we can keep you company and keep you from getting too down, getting too dark, then this is all worth it. It's all worth it, even for a day. Man, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, James BT, for 2003 for $5. I appreciate it. What do you think of Robert Downey defending Chris Pratt? I think that's good. John Westmoreland for $4.99, because I think Robert Downey is a normal Democrat, which we're losing. All right. I am so sorry. I really am. I've got to go. I have an arrangement. So I'm going to read these tomorrow. These will be read. So starting with FN and all the way down to Casey Osowski, I will read these first thing on the Nerdrotic Nooner tomorrow. You'll have my apologies. I don't like running out this quick, but I had to get one in before. I'm going to jump on over to the High Council. So go. Oh, I don't even know whose channel is on. Hang on. Let me plug it first. It is on. Is it up? Oh my God, OneRing.net. Why did you post 5 things? I don't know whose channel is on. It's either going to be on Mecha Random 42s or Midnight's Edge or World Class Bullshitters. One of those 3. I can't tweet. So you know what? I'll put it in my community section. Is that cool? I'll put it in the community section. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks to all the Modrotics out there. And, I didn't even put my chat up. Sorry about that. So thanks to Jake D, Chris Persia. Thanks to Eric K, Lori Wilson, Lady Gravemaster. Thank you for all the super chats. I am incredibly sorry I couldn't get to them all, but I will read them again first thing tomorrow. You have my promise. It's on Mecha's channel. Thank you. So go to Mecha Random 42. We're going to be there chatting away. I'm sure we'll discuss more of these issues. Again, I apologize for that, and I will see you in a sec. Bye-bye.